Where are the celebrities? Where are the mothers? Where is Kim Kardashian? Where is Cardi B? Where is Taylor Swift? Where is Beyonce? 40 million people are about to lose their food assistance, and they do not care because they are part of the system. Wake up. Nobody needs Skims when they're actually skin and bone. Nobody needs 12 albums with the same music. Wake up. They don't care. They want you to starve. Starve them. Do not buy their stuff. They want children to starve. Wake up.
There is nothing wrong with someone being on food stamps, okay? Y'all are highly mistaken to sit there and criticize someone for getting the help that they need for their family. And y'all keep coming for me because I've been on food stamps for the past 15 years. Do realize that I qualified for food stamps because of my income, right? Because I don't have any income. I haven't had income in the past 15 years, and I have been able to have my bills paid, my food paid for, and I'm in Section 8 housing, okay? These are all programs that I'm entitled to because I do not make enough, okay? So before you go and pass judgment on someone, realize that everyone's life situation is not going to be the same as yours. Okay, you might work 40, 50 hours a week and you might have income coming in, but there's people like me out here who don't have anything to their name that have to rely on these programs because they don't have jobs. What do you expect us to do?
I'm telling y'all, Trump is really taking y'all through there because this government shutdown thing going on now, they want to take government assistance from everybody, Section 8, HUD, and they're not worrying about come Thanksgiving, come Christmas. 2 months, these people won't be receiving any government assistance to be able to feed their kids. They already starting it now. The money they working for is not covering everything.
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the possibility that food stamps are going to get cut off at the beginning of this month, starting on November 1st, if Democrats refuse to open back up the government. Now, as you guys saw at the beginning of this video, and as we've covered before, there's a full-blown meltdown on TikTok. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of these people who are melting down over this clearly are liberal. They're black, right? They're losing their minds, okay, over the possibility of losing their welfare benefits, again, due to the government being shut down by Democrats.
No, like, on a serious note, like, the real reason why they can't take my shit, because how the fuck y'all gonna take this shit in November? That's when Thanksgiving and people eating food and preparing meals and shit and bringing potlucks and bring your own dish and bring a dish and fuck, like, what the fuck am I gonna eat? Some crackers? Some bread? What, all I'm gonna be able to get is some stuffing? Some cornbread? I won't even be able to go get me a motherfucking ham. Like, y'all gonna what? Huh? Trump come again? Cause like, y'all lucky I don't know where y'all live and I work at that tab.
Why y'all so worried about people losing their EBT? Like, not worried. I mean, like, people who are celebrating people losing their EBT, like get a job and stuff like that. What does people getting EBT have to do with you? Like, what is it doing to you? Like, what is it taking out of your pocket? What is it? Your taxes and shit still gonna be the same. So why are you celebrating somebody losing something that has no benefit to you? I'm lost.
So you're telling me that someone in higher power decided that it'd be totally fine to take away SNAP benefits right before the holidays, and now they're talking about taking away our depresso espresso medications? So you're gonna make the majority hungry and psychotic? I mean, fuck around and find out, I guess.
Bro is waiting in the dispensary parking lot, asking people if they have any spare roaches. I don't think y'all understand. The crash out levels is about to go through the roof. No food stamps equals no to less weed money. Like, y'all about to have people out here hangry and sober. That's a diabolical combination. Because the food money got to come out of some budget, and that's the first one it usually comes from. All I'm saying is just be nicer to people in these coming days, because that blunt and those snacks may have been the only thing stopping your coworker from putting you first in line for a meet and greet with God Almighty.
Now I'm so sick of you hoes that don't get food stamps, still stating y'all motherfucking opinion about us getting mad about these food stamps, bitch. 'Cause let me tell you all something. Food is too motherfucking high for y'all to be bragging by, oh, I never got food stamps, so I never gave a fuck. You want food stamps, though. You wish you can get food stamps, though. Because at the end of the day, the food stamps that we get, that shit don't even be enough, but it's a blessing. Like, people really out here need food stamps. Everybody ain't rich. Everybody over here ain't overly loaded. Like, food is too motherfucking expensive. $500 a couple of years ago, $500 worth of stamps would have got you so much shit. Now $900 barely get you 200 items. Groceries too motherfucking high for y'all to be out here just talking. If y'all hoes ain't finna Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay, Vmo, Dmo, nobody help on that motherfucking groceries, stop yapping on this motherfucking here internet.
Now, here's the thing. I feel bad about this for the elderly, for the truly disabled, for people who can't work, who actually need the benefits. I don't feel bad for the single baby mamas, the lazy, the entitled, people who are able-bodied and just refuse to work, okay, and illegal immigrants. No, I don't feel bad for those people who are losing their SNAP benefit. And another reason why I don't feel bad about it is because a lot of these people are too stupid to understand that Democrats are at fault, right? It is literally the fault of the Democrat Party in regards to why this is happening.
As soon as we hit November 1st, the Trump administration says that there will be no federal food aid. So that means those SNAP benefits may soon be off the table for 1 in 8 Americans who use it. And with no end in sight to the shutdown, people are upset.
I never thought it would come to something like this.
Growing up, Nora Shaheen says she and her family relied on SNAP benefits to make ends meet, which is why the news that families like hers may not have it soon has left the 22-year-old far from pleased. She says SNAP was a lifeline for her.
There's always food in the house. Like, it made me feel like the same as other kids who are more fortunate.
So it means a lot to you.
It means so much to me, yeah, for sure. It's like infuriating.
According to a statement on the U.S. Department of Agriculture's website, the well has run dry as far as funding goes to continue SNAP benefits starting November 1st. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump once again placed blame on Democrats for the pause and preventing the government shutdown from coming to an end.
But the Democrats are stopping it. All they have to do is agree to let's go and we're ready. And we voted for it many times. All we need is 5 Democrats. The Republicans vote for it.
In response to the potential pause, Senator Richard Blumenthal said in a statement, "I'm hopeful that the state will step into the breach. But families across Connecticut and the country face a food insecurity perfect storm, with rising prices and diminished benefits compounded by the challenges with healthcare that Republicans have imposed with a self-inflicted wound as a result of the government shutdown. With the future unclear, those on SNAP are being encouraged by groups like Connecticut Voices for Children and Connecticut Social Services to spend what SNAP benefits they have before November 1st, while those like Shaheen hope this will send a message to lawmakers.
I just want to tell them that you need to keep these families in mind. Just because I'm not dealing with it right now, like, I still feel for all these other families and all these children and stuff who have to be affected.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Now, again, people are freaking out over the possibility of food stamps running out if something doesn't happen here soon, right? It doesn't look like anything's going to happen here soon because, again, Democrats have decided that planes need to crash, that people need to lose their benefits, their food stamps, in order to stick it to Trump, right? This is what Democrats have said explicitly, what they need before they decide to open up the government. They need pain, right? They need people to feel like President Trump is hurting them when it's really the Democrat Party that is hurting them. The sad reality is that there are a significant amount of people in this country who are just too stupid to understand this, right? Because they don't understand how the government works. And they are probably watching MSDNC. But for this video, I want to focus on something very specific, okay, which is this idea that is being pushed in liberal circles that, well, you know, SNAP, according to this person, is not just for the unemployed. It is for anyone who's living below the poverty line, which sadly includes a lot of people who are working full-time jobs. But here's the thing. Even if it were just for the unemployed, they still deserve food. No one deserves to starve. Yeah, so I want to address entitlement, because that's what this is. Okay. We live in a time period where people believe that they're entitled to housing. They're entitled to food. They're entitled to healthcare. And it's like, no, you're not entitled to any of these things, right? At no point in human history has anybody ever been entitled to anything. But again, I want to address a very specific demographic of individuals who, again, are receiving these benefits, okay? And I want to go ahead and play a video of, again, the type of demographic that I really want to address here. Take a look.
Y'all up in here talking mad fucking shit. Y'all don't realize how much we're losing right now. Yeah, I work a 40-hour job, like I've been fucking saying, and I'm on government assistance. They're taking everybody's fucking shit. My kids right now do not have medical. Or myself. I don't care about myself. I care about my fucking kids. For number one, okay? That's my motherfucking job, to make sure they're alright. Make sure they go to the doctor's appointment such and such, okay? But y'all sitting here talking mad shit about that, right? People are about to lose their housing, and they're gonna have their families on the fucking streets, and y'all don't give a fuck about that, right? You don't give a fuck about if they're going to eat, do you? No. But you're talking mad fucking shit. Shut the fuck up. Because you know why I'm gonna tell you shut the fuck up? Because that shit's gonna happen to you. Okay? Mark my words, that shit's gonna be fucking... I'm gonna laugh at y'all dumb asses when that shit happens. Guarantee you that. But have a great fucking Sunday, though.
Yeah. So, again, I want to address the demographic of single parents, right, that are on food stamps, okay, that claim that they're working, right? Because, again, liberals love to push this propaganda. There are people who are working, who are living below the federal poverty line, and they need food stamps, right? But, again, like any liberal claim, you have to look deeper into what they're actually talking about to see the truth. I responded to one of these individuals, and I said, the federal poverty line is $15,650 a year for a single individual with no kids. Now, let's stop here, right? Because I know a lot of people will say, well, that seems low. That's not the point. The point is not that the federal poverty line is low. The point is that there's literally nobody who is working full time that is living below the federal poverty line unless they have kids, okay? If you work for $725, in which you will be hard-pressed, even in states where you have the lowest cost of living, you still be hard-pressed to find a job that actually is only paying $725 nowadays, right? There are very few jobs that actually pay minimum wage. Most people, if you're working at McDonald's, Arby's, retail, wherever, right? Like, you're getting paid more than minimum wage, right? But even if you are getting paid minimum wage, okay, you're not living below the federal poverty line if you have no kids. Now, here's where the problem kicks in, okay, is when you have these single parents who are working, right? And what happens when you're working as a single parent, okay, then the federal poverty line goes up, right? So the threshold increases, right? And that's where the problem kicks in. This is where they become eligible for benefits. Now, it is not the job of the government to come in and to do the job of a father, right? That's the point I really want to make here, because that's what really annoys me about these liberal arguments when it comes to welfare. Because as I've explained to you guys before, okay, and this is something I'm really, really, really starting to believe in my whole heart of hearts, that this is one of the biggest problems with why the family structure in this country is breaking down, is because of the fact that government welfare has disincentivized families from staying together, okay? These women are having kids out of wedlock, and then they're working these dead-end jobs, and they now become eligible for food stamps and welfare because they're, quote-unquote, living in poverty, right? But it's not the job of the government to take care of your kids. That's the job of the baby daddy. That's the job of the father of the kid. And that's the thing about Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, that I really liked when he was giving advice to these single baby mamas, right, looking for a man. The first thing he would tell them, go find your baby daddy. Go be with him, right? That woman that we just played, she's complaining about how she works but she still needs benefits to feed her kids, right? And that society needs to take care of her. When, again, that's not the job of society. That's the job of the baby daddy. Where is the father of your kids? Why is he not taking care of the kids, right? Do people understand the problem with the government coming in and telling these women that, hey, it's okay to make bad decisions. It's okay to get knocked up by these deadbeats. Because let's be real. As a man, I would never, as a working man, I would never let the government take care of my kids if I had kids, right? And if anything, if I had kids, I would try everything in my ability to remain with the mother of my kids, even if I was miserable in the relationship. And the reason why is because I truly feel that if you choose to have kids with somebody, you are obligated to stay with that person until, at the very least, until the kids are adults. You are obligated. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the circumstances. I mean, unless, you got somebody that's, literally beating the hell out of you, right? Then that might be a little bit different. But outside of some extreme circumstances, generally speaking, couples that have kids should stay together no matter what. If you choose to lay down and have a kid with somebody, you have to stay together and to take care of the kids. But when you have the government come in and tell these women, it's okay, doesn't matter if you get knocked up by a deadbeat, we're going to pay for your kids to eat, right? We're going to take care of them anyways, despite the fact that you made a bad decision. What incentive do these people have to not get knocked up? To not lay up with deadbeats and have all these kids and to live off the government? There's no incentive. When the government has decided that they're going to pay for people's bad decisions, then people are going to continue to make bad decisions. And those bad decisions are bad for society. These single mothers having all these kids, raising criminals, agents of chaos. Yeah, that's a negative externality for society when you don't have fathers in homes. So that's the part of this conversation I think that people are missing. When you got all these people going online complaining, oh, I got to feed my kids. Where is the daddy? Where's the father? It's a man's job to feed his kids. It's not the government's job. It's a man's job. And it doesn't matter how much a man has to work. I don't care. If you got to work 60, 70 hours a week, doesn't matter. A man should never, ever, ever let his kids be on government benefits if he can help it. And a woman shouldn't get knocked up by a man who would allow his kids to be on welfare. That's the real conversation that needs to be had about this. Families are being broken apart because of the fact that the government pays for bad decisions. And that's the real conversation that we need to have. Maybe in the future, I'll make a dedicated video about this very specific topic, right? But again, this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, right? Especially as a conservative, as I continue to evolve with my political viewpoints. Like, I'm actually becoming like radicalized against welfare, right? I'm becoming very anti-welfare, right? For anybody that's not truly disabled or elderly, I am becoming a radical against welfare, right? Any type of welfare, right? I'm being very, very, very serious about that. And what's radicalizing me is the fact that I'm realizing that the government is causing a lot of these problems that we're experiencing in society because they are incentivizing people to make bad decisions. I don't think it's a coincidence that when we had less welfare, families were stronger, communities were stronger, we had less crime. Society, at least culturally speaking, was in a much better place. And a lot of that has changed because of the welfare state. And I think, again, this whole conversation about food stamps has just reminded me of that. And again, the more I learn, the more radical I become. Where I'm like, yeah, we have to dismantle the welfare state. It needs to be radically dismantled because it is destroying the family. It is destroying the foundation of what made this country great in the first place. So that's just some food for thought, right? All these single ghetto baby mamas out here, right? Boo-hoo, whine, and cry about what they gonna do without food stamps. Go find your baby daddy, right? Go find the father of your kids, right? And work it out. Work it out. Get a job, That's what you should do, right? If you want to survive the food stamp apocalypse. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.